Good afternoon, everybody. Sorry for the technical difficulties in getting this up and running, but now we're here and we're glad that you'll all joined us here this December afternoon. Welcome to the annual governance meeting of the UN Global Compact Network USA. My name is Rick Pearl. I'm the acting executive director of the network. And we have our complement of our senior executive on the board with us today to give you an update on our progress in 2024 and plans ahead. Before we begin, I just wanted to give a couple of to everyone. Attendees may submit their questions by clicking the Q&A box at the bottom of their screen, and then we will answer all questions at the end. So we'll be moving forward with the complete presentation, so save your questions to the end. And thank you again for your patience, and I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. So we can start. So as I said, the network is an independent 501c3 under a memorandum of understanding with the United Nations to represent the UN Global Compact in the US market and represent the US market within the UN Global Compact. We're governed by our signatories as represented by our board composition, all of whom are senior executives from our signatory companies. This governance webinar is intended to provide visibility into our operations for our U.S. participants and to provide an opportunity for questions and feedback. Our agenda for this afternoon, we will have an introduction to the Network USA board from our chair, Ann Tracy. We'll go over some 2024 milestones. We'll discuss our network governance, our programming, both that has just been completed in 2024, as well as in the future in 2025. And we'll go over our financials. And at the end, as I said, we will welcome all of your comments and questions. So thank you. And at this point, I'd like to turn it over to my colleague, Ann Tracy from Colgate-Palmolive, who is the chair of Network USA. Ann?
Thanks so much, Rick, and welcome everyone to our annual governance meeting. And I just want to say on behalf of the board, we're pleased you could join us today. You see here a picture from one of our in-person meetings all together. In fact, unfortunately, not everybody's there because we are modern and we accommodate when we need to people virtually, but you do see a number of our smiling faces here. Our goal is to assemble a board that combines not only diversity and expertise, but also across industry. So we do have people coming from all over the US to be part of our board, which is why we sometimes need to bring people in virtually. And we do try to strive for different backgrounds, for diversity in a way, in leadership as well. And we particularly look for in our board members for empathy, collaboration, and active listening. So we do, like normal boards, a board skills matrix. So we have a great breadth of skills that come together. And I'll show you our board in a minute. But first, our officers who you're going to hear from today. Myself, I am the Chief Sustainability Officer of Colgate-Palmolive. Gail Schuler, who's the Chief Sustainability Officer of 3M. Michael Okorafor, who is the Chief Sustainability Officer of McCormick. And Jennifer, who's still having some technical difficulties, so hopefully we'll resolve that. Jennifer Leitch from EY. You could go to the next slide. And then just briefly to familiarize you, I'm not going to go through every one, but just quickly, Paul from State Street, David, who's our legal pro forma from Baker & McKenzie, Eunice from CRH, and we have Jennifer, as I mentioned, Gail, Guli, Gavin, Michael, Shoba, Kristen, and Brian. We have a full board. Going to the next slide, please. So I now want to just touch on some of the important milestones. We were very busy in 2024. First and foremost, we continue to grow our network. We grew by 153 new recruits this year, representing a gross revenue of 18%, nearly 20% of the US GDP, which is very impressive. And we expanded our programmatic offerings. Our UNGC team has been very busy this year You're going to hear more about this in a minute from Gail, but just to hit some highlights, we launched our business and human rights programming, which has been extremely popular amongst our company clients. This was the first year that we offered peer learning groups to participating companies. It allows companies to come together, share best practices and challenges with like-minded professionals. And we also published a report focusing on corporate water stewardship. And we pulled from case studies of UNGC members, Microsoft, Pepsi, S&P, among others. And then finally, for the first time, we've had a presence at all major UN convenings, and we've hosted events at most of these. And this is a significant milestone in our programming and engagement. Regarding finances, again, you'll hear from Michael in a minute, our status of our 24 spend in our budget. Our reserves and investments have grown to over 2.25 million, which is a reflection of our health, our strong health. It continues to grow along with the membership, and we're able to take that and apply that back into our programming and enrich our programming, and we're very pleased about that. Then, as I mentioned, on the governance front, we successfully elected the new board leadership that I just highlighted, and we have continued strength and vision now at the helm. We're embarking on implementing our first ever strategic plan, which we developed in 2023, aligned with the global objectives being tailored to the unique needs of the U.S. market. So we're aligned with global GNs, the global compact, the overall global compact, but we make sure that it applies to our members in the U.S. And then finally, we enhance Network USA staff by appointing department heads now for programming, for communications, operations, and as well now most recently the engagement team. And if you can go to the next slide, this is just a summary of our membership. You can see here that we have the on the right side 153 new participants, and we may even have a few more join before the end of the year. But that brings our total to over 1,100 participants, and that makes us one of the largest global compact networks in the world. And just to give you a little breakdown of these participants, 55% are corporations and 33% are small to medium size or SMEs. And then the remaining 10% or so is non-business entities such as associations or NGOs. And you can see from the slide here that there's been tremendous steady growth year on year. So with that, were we successful in bringing Jennifer in while I was speaking?
Hi, Anne. This is Jennifer. Can you hear me?
Yes. Thanks, Jennifer. Do you want?
Yes,
We'll
thank you very
guide
much.
you. I know you can't see the slide, so I'll help guide you.
Much appreciated. Thank you all so much. Apologies for my technical difficulties that I can't be there on video, but I'm very excited to be there with you virtually right now. So thank you, Anne, so much. As Anne mentioned, I'm Jennifer Light. I'm with EY, and I'm very honored to serve as the board secretary and chair of the Nominating and Governance Committee. So I wanted to start by sharing a little bit about our governance structure. Network USA began in 2007 under the leadership of a steering committee and became formally established in 2014 as a 501c3 organization with a board of directors that obviously Anne just introduced you to. As Rick mentioned earlier, we operate under an annual MOU with the UN Global Compact, serving as Network USA. Our Nominating and Governance Committee works to ensure strong and effective board leadership. We have a number of responsibilities, including developing policies and processes to support efficient governance, conducting an annual review of our corporate bylaws and key governance documents, building a robust candidate pipeline for new board members and succession planning, recommending board nominees for election and re-election, and upholding fiduciary responsibilities to safeguard the organization's integrity and mission. If we want to flip to the next slide, you can see our board committees. As Anne mentioned, our committee chairs serve as our executive committee, but you can see, of course, that we have representatives across the finance, nominating and governance, and strategy and programs committees, with most of our board members serving on 2 of those 3 committees. We're going to flip to the next slide. I wanted to mention that this year we did facilitate the election of a new executive committee and board officers, as we just talked about. I'm really also very excited to announce that we've created a search committee to search for our next executive director. We have retained an executive search firm to help us with that search, and we expect to be able to share more in the coming months. With that, I'm going to go ahead and turn over the mic to Gail Schuler.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to join you as 3M's Chief Sustainability Officer and as the UN Global Compact Network USA Chair. Network USA has an ambitious set of programs to provide the U.S. market-specific complement to the UN Global Compact offerings at the global level. This programming is primarily made up of accelerator programs, thought leadership, in-person events, and webinars. We have a variety of high-touch programming, such as our multi-month accelerator programs, which go deeper into smaller groups of engaged companies to drive real and lasting change. We also expanded our initiatives by launching a business and human rights program to help American companies turn commitments into action through a robust human rights due diligence process. This year, we released our second thought leadership piece. This time, we focused on a corporate water stewardship program. We are working on a report on sustainable finance, which will launch at GreenBiz in early 2025. We also hosted 8 in-person events, both across the United States and internationally. These include our 2024 SDG Summit USA, which is our flagship event during the UN General Assembly. We also offered 10 webinars in 2024. The recordings of these webinars can be found on our website. I hope that you've had a chance to participate in some of them. Network USA had a presence at all of the big UN convenings, including the UN High-Level Political Forum, the UN General Assembly, COP29, and the UN Forum on Business and Human Rights. For the first time, we held events alongside these conferences to showcase US private sector contributions in achieving these conferences' goals. Looking ahead in 2025, we aim to build on our success of our programming from this past year. We are looking to do more as we drive forward, and you'll see more happening. We're looking to drive further action with our accelerators, our SDG ambition under climate action, business and human rights, and target gender equality. We have peer learning groups going forward related to corporate sustainability, climate action, and human rights, and webinars that will be exploring opportunities related to climate, environment, human rights, and other SDGs. The SDG Summit will happen again this year as part of the UNGA effort and the New York City Climate Week, as well as site events that we will be planned for GreenBiz, the UN High-Level Politics Forum, and more. We also are exploring the ideas of an additional thought leadership report going forward. And we will continue to offer legal education, continuing education, learning opportunities. At this point, I would like to turn the floor over to Michael Okorafor, our treasurer for the UNGC Network USA board. Take it over, Michael.
Can you hear me, please?
Yes.
I can hear you now, Michael. Thanks.
Can you hear me? Excellent. First of all, thanks, my friend, and apologize for all these technical difficulties. But I'm really delighted to join this webinar and share some of the financial milestones here at UNGC USA. For starters, my name is Michael Okorafor, and I'm the Chief Sustainability Officer for McCormick & Company. And really now I serve as the chair for our financial committee for the board. Let me start. I assume you are on slide 17. Is that correct? Because I can't see it.
Yes.
Thank you. So let me start by highlighting a few things on our financial milestones. One is that we have our financials are healthy, which allows us to meaningfully serve the participating companies. So really proud to share that. Second point I would like to make is that for NGOs, for those of you that are familiar with 501(c)(3) organizations, it is important that you have a healthy cash on hand just in case of things that could happen for at least a year that you have enough cash to cover your operations. And I'm pleased to share that we at UNGC USA really have that stability because we have cash on hand to really operate the organization for a full year. This is a strong financial position that assures readiness to address any potential financial emergencies that will occur. So you can feel reassured that this organization is vibrant and on solid ground. We have just transitioned our finance from our finance consultant, who has done a great job over the past few years, to a full service finance and accounting firm. And by the way, this firm that we're using also have capabilities for human resources that they provide to us. So that's really what I call a one-stop shopping that allows us to be very efficient as an organization. This transition was actually spurred by the retirement of our long-term finance administrator, Pam Herman. For most of you who heard her, she's very capable, and I tell you, we're delighted that she served us and she's retiring. So we thank Pam for that outstanding financial and administrative support while she was on board. We will miss her, of course, but we have to continue. We're also pleased to share that our 2023 financial audit is complete and available on our website. I think that's a major milestone for us. And we also invested $500,000 that our 2023 financial audit is complete there. We invested $500,000 in a long-term fund. So we're doing everything to live up to our fiducial responsibility for this organization. This type of investment will help secure operating capital for future needs. Okay? If you go to slide 18, so everything that you see on our financials here, I just want to make a point that this is up to our Q3 2024. This is not for the full year. And you can see that we're on solid ground again, as I emphasized. We invoice U.S. companies on behalf of the UN Global Compact, and our books include a sizable portion we use to support both our local and global operations. As of the end of this Q3, as I'm talking about, including Q3 of 2024, including our share to the UN Global Compact, we have brought in nearly 5.4 million in income. I repeat, 5.4 million in income. Why am I saying this? This is really telling you that this organization is well run, but more importantly, we're on solid ground. And over half of our income is distributed to the UN. So I will conclude by saying, as you read through these things, go to our website to see what we've posted there on our operations. You will really see that this is a very good organization, solid one to be part of. And with that, I'm going to turn it back to Rick and Ann Tracy. Thank you.
Thanks, folks. As I mentioned earlier, if you do have questions, please put them in the Q&A and we will answer them. And I'd like to thank our board for their work under the difficult technical difficulties that we had, and we apologize for that. I know that we've got some 25 folks here with us in this presentation. So if there are any questions, please put them in the chat and we will answer them in the order that we received them. I'm not seeing any questions. Maybe we'll give it one more minute and then we will bid you adieu on this fine December day. Great. Well, I'd like to thank Ann and Gail and Michael and Jennifer for their presentation today. I hope it gave you a good overview of Network USA and what we've been accomplishing throughout this year and what we're looking forward to next year. I know that we're ramping up for a lot of good activity, and we welcome you for your support, and we hope to engage with you more often in 2025. So thank you. Have a great rest of your day and weekend, and success in 2025. Take care, everyone.